Who's your friend of the week, Kyle? Fill me in.
Well, my friend of the week, remember my friend Eddie from high school?
Loosely.
Yeah, so Eddie was this dude I would hang out a lot with in high school. He met Nick one time when Eddie and I bought Obama off of you. Remember the Obama?
How could I forget that summer? I was on probation. It was the best pound I ever bought. Quarter pound, pardon me.
Even like
no less than that actually.
Legalization, this was phenomenal.
It was amazing shit.
It was very purple. It was beautiful. I still remember it to this day.
I still remember. The only reason I was selling during that is because I was on probation and couldn't smoke it. So that re-up, I got a pound of trim and I got an ounce of fire shit. And Eddie was one of my lucky customers.
Yep. Yeah, it was fantastic. So Eddie was he was a big karate guy. He was a big gym guy.
Mm-hmm.
We really liked to get stoned and then go to the gym together.
Yep.
Eventually, I got this like POT syndrome. It was this postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Oh, so POT's the abbreviation, not like from smoking.
Right. No, It was not from smoking. However, it did actually affect me, especially when I was smoking.
Okay.
So basically, the gist of it is that typically when you go from laying down to sitting up, and then from sitting up to standing up, each of those positions for normal people, usually that raises your blood pressure slightly. For people with POT syndrome, it does the opposite. So when you
it lowers
sit
your
up,
blood pressure?
it lowers your blood pressure. When you stand up, it lowers your blood pressure.
Okay.
When you smoke, it drastically lowers your blood pressure. So I was just fainting all the time was my problem.
When you were with Eddie?
Yeah. It happened mostly when I was with Eddie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going to the doctor and getting a prescription that fixed this. But yeah, most of the time that I had this issue, I was with Eddie. One of these times we were doing these like smoke and then go to the gym session type things. Yeah, we just get really stoned and watch like some bodybuilding video on YouTube and then go to the gym. One of these times, we were really stoned, really pumped up. We were going to go hard at the gym, right?
Okay.
So you've seen Eddie. Like, Eddie was a big dude.
Fucking meatball, dude.
Yeah. He was much, much bigger than I was. And one of these times, he would always try to, like, push me further in the gym. And I appreciated that. I mean, that's why I worked out with him. He pushed me further. But at the same time, with this POT syndrome, it made it very difficult. And one of these times, we're at the gym. He's doing these crazy lat pull downs, and he's like, "Yo, all right, you're set." And I'm like, "All right, let's take a plate off of each side." He's like, "No, just use my weight. You're fine." I'm like, "Bro, I'm not fine. Like, you see me and you see I'm not fine." He's like, "No. Don't be a pussy. Just do it." I'm like, "All right." So I start doing this set. I get up from my set. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get a drink of water while you do your set. I walk over to the water fountain and just pass out, like on the way to the water fountain. And I wake up. It's like a scene from a movie, you know, when you like wake up and there's like a people like in a circle around you, all just like bent, like hunched over looking at you like, is he all right? That's like what I woke up to at like Export Fitness. Just like 10 people. 2 of them claiming to be paramedics. They're all like standing over me, asking if I'm okay. And I had to just explain to them like my blood sugar was low and blood pressure low, blah blah blah. So I had like a Gatorade and I was okay. But
he was your fitness homie.
Yeah, he was my fitness homie.
I was not that homie to Kyle. I was not that homie, if you couldn't tell.
No. Eddie eventually joined a frat. And I got to trip with him and one of his frat bros. It was fun. His frat bro was very silly. Everything he thought was his phone, like Eddie's refrigerator. If we rolled, he was holding the wrapper. Like he'd be like, "Why is it not unlocking?" And we'd be like, "Dude, that's not your phone."
How did you lose contact with this guy? Because I mean, no disrespect, you're not working out anymore.
No.
How'd you lose
so
contact?
after like he went off to a different college than I went to like community college, and he went off to U of I, a nice school. So yeah, he actually got kind of more straight edged, and he's like the last I heard from him, he's just doing like I think he's doing like a music career now or something.
Good for him.
Makes like rock.
I remember
music.
him being very straight edge before though.
Yeah. So the thing with Eddie is anything he was doing, he'd like hyper focus on. Like you know the way I am with video games. Like
Sure.
I like video games, but I'll play like one or two at a time. That's how he is with like
you play
life.
one or two in general, bro. It's
Right.
not one at a time.
That's
like,
how
in general.
That's how Eddie is with like his life. Like he will do like one or two things at a time. Like if he's working out, he's working out and that's it. He will do diet, sleep, and work out. If he's doing music, you know, he'll go to school, do music, and sleep. Like that's how Eddie is. He really hyper focuses on one thing. So the last I heard of him, he was focusing on like a music career and finishing school and all that. But yeah, I haven't really talked to him in a while.
I just remember him most because he was like your straight edge branch of your friend group.
Yeah.
And I was the one that would bring you into nonsense.
Yeah.
Like I would come over and I remember I only really fully met this guy one time.
Mm-hmm.
But like numerous times I would come over and then you would kick him out. Like as I got there, like, hey, it's time to do bad things.
Degenerate
you know,
things.
time to get the fuck out, Eddie. You know. I also remember, I think we've talked about this on the show before, but I remember the time you drank the water jug.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Eddie had so he was one of those like he was a real meathead, and he would bring a gallon of water around with him every day. So he's walking around school with a gallon of water. And usually we'd just go after school, we'd go to my house and smoke and just hang out, go to the gym, whatever. But a couple of times he'd like forget his water jug. So a couple of times I had taken it upon myself to start a science experiment. And I would take his water jugs and I'd hang them up from the wall of my garage. And I think one of them we'd just do nefarious things too. We'd throw cigarette butts in them, we'd spit in them, whatever. And then we had the one water jug that we didn't do anything to, and that was like our control jug. So we'd have that jug and we'd compare it to the one that we did stuff to and see like, what kind of bacterias can we grow and stuff like that. And I think at one point we also
genius science experiment.
We also paid somebody like $15 to take a sip of it. So
you took a sip of it.
That's possible.
You don't shut the fuck up. You don't remember taking a sip of it?
No.
Kyle, I gave you 10 and Pat was there, bro. I'm not going to say his last name, but Pat was in that bitch.
Low-key, I thought Pat was the one we paid.
No, me and Pat paid you to do it. And you were fucked up, and you did it. You took a sip. We had 2-gallon jugs of water hanging off the wall off hooks in your garage, and you were like, one of these has Eddie spit in them and probably a bunch of, bacteria, and the other one is clean. And me and Pat were both like, at first I offered my 10. Pat was like, I'll fucking match. I'll offer 10 too. And you did it right in front of us. What do you mean? You don't remember that?
I vaguely do remember that, actually, yeah.
Bro, you must have been fucked up when you did that. Because I vividly, that's the only reason I remember this friend you're talking about, Eddie. Because like I never knew him at all, but I remember when you drank his spit water for $20. And that's something I'll never forget. I'll never forget that shit. Because like visibly, it was his spit water. I'll tell you from the bacteria layer on the top right now, you drank his spit water. But like, I'm not a scientist. I can't confirm it. But like, I'm shocked you don't remember that.
I do vaguely remember
like,
that.
what, bro? Fucking drinking spit water and not remembering is crazy.
Before you said anything, I just thought it was Pat. But yeah,
no, Pat was there with me. Pat was there with me,
sense.
and we paid you to drink it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which Pat in itself, Pat deserves a homie of the week segment on his own.
Pat
because
was a good, yeah.
Him and I, well, bro, the reason him and I became friends, you'll probably remember it once I mention it, is because he stole all my Ralph Lauren hoodies. And I confronted him about it and fought him in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Him and Miguel stole all my Ralph Lauren hoodies, and I realized it, and I called him out for it, and they were like, what are you going to do? So we all pulled up in the parking lot at the box. Fucking, I'll never forget that. And after that, they returned them to me, and it was like, all right.
I do.
Let's be homies now.
Yep.
They're like, oh, sorry, you know, they apologized. I was young enough to forgive it. As an old, stubborn adult, I wouldn't forgive it now. But like when I was young back then, I'm very grateful I did because they're super cool guys, you know. I was like, yeah, no problem. And now Pat's a very good friend of mine. You know?
Yeah.
Pat's a very good friend of mine. But